Get ready for an action-packed week full of mega cap catalysts and economic data galore, including the June FOMC meeting on Wednesday. We're also going to get CPI and PPI data for May, along with a preliminary Michigan consumer sentiment print. No shortage of stocks on watch either. Huge events on the docket for Apple and Tesla, and we'll finally get to trade Nvidia on a post-split basis. We'll also get earnings from GameStop, heavyweights like Broadcom and Adobe, and the first ever report from a recent Microsoft-backed IPO. Let's dive right into the week ahead. Massive catalyst to watch out for on Monday. Apple's annual Worldwide Developers Conference, which kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Time with a keynote speech. Market participants are eagerly awaiting to hear what CEO Tim Cook and others have to say, with many speculating that this will finally be the event where Apple concretely announces an AI feature or update. We've had some reports in recent weeks on a project called Apple Chips and Data Centers, or ACDC. Let's see what announcements await us at the big event, which will unfold from Monday to Friday. June 10th also marks the first day that Nvidia will trade after its 10-for-1 stock split. At a smaller price point, this already exciting stock could get a lot of attention from traders in its first few sessions post-split. Watch out for some moves in the biotech and healthcare space. Eli Lilly, Pfizer, and Moderna are among the companies slated to attend the Goldman Sachs Annual Global Healthcare Conference on Monday. A few auctions on the docket today as well. We'll get the 3-month and 6-month bill auctions at 11:30 and the 3-year note auction at 1 p.m. Some economic data to watch out for on Tuesday, starting with the year-over-year Redbook data at 8:55 a.m. We'll get 2 more auctions heading into the midday period, the 52-week bill auction at 11:30 and the 10-year note auction at 1 p.m. After the close, we'll get a number in the energy space, the API crude oil stock change. Tuesday also marks the first day of Deutsche Bank's Global Automotive Conference, which ends on June 12th. Companies including Ford and Mobileye are slated to attend. The Evercore ISI Consumer and Retail Conference is also scheduled for Tuesday. Attendees include Colgate-Palmolive, Kellanova, and Bath & Body Works. Big post-market earnings drop to watch out for. Retail darling GameStop is set to report, and it's been on everyone's minds since Roaring Kitty made his return to social media last month. Since then, the stock has rallied on catalysts including a $933.4 million equity offering and Roaring Kitty's disclosure of his massive position in the company. GameStop missed earnings per share and sales estimates last quarter, with its sales actually dropping by 19.4% on a year-over-year basis, and it's expected to post $900 million in revenue for this quarter. Something else to watch out for after the bell is the first ever earnings report from Rubrik. The Microsoft-backed software company made its trading debut on April 25th and gained 21% after its first day trading on the NYSE. Analysts including KeyBank, Wedbush, and Barclays all gave Rubrik an outperformer overweight rating in the weeks after its IPO. Let's see what market participants have to say after its report. First big economic data prints of the week coming through on Wednesday morning with CPI and inflation rates for May. Last month's core inflation print was at its lowest level in 3 years, while CPI rose 0.3% on a month-over-month basis compared to the 0.4% estimates. Despite those reassuring readings, year-over-year CPI was still in line with expectations at 3.4%. These reports could help provide some clarity on the state of price inflation in the U.S. Other prints on watch for Wednesday include the EIA crude oil and gas stock changes at 10:30 and the 17-week bill auction at 11:30 a.m. At 2 p.m., we get the biggest economic event of the week, the culmination of the June FOMC meeting and the Fed's interest rate decision. Over 99% of traders see the Fed holding the current target rate of 525 to 550 basis points at the meeting, where we'll also get the monthly budget statement for May and interest rate projections in the near and long terms. Stay tuned for prepared comments and a Q&A from Fed Chair Jerome Powell at 2:30 p.m. But all the excitement on Wednesday doesn't end there. Broadcom reports after the bell. The company maintained its $50 billion revenue forecast for fiscal 2024 during its last report, representing a 40% jump from 2023, with CEO Hock Tan noting that AI chips are expected to comprise $10 billion of total revenue. Analysts are looking for $11.96 billion in revenue for fiscal Q2 2024. Another earnings name on watch is Dave & Buster's. The entertainment and dining chain reported a 6.3% year-over-year revenue increase for Q4 2023 and a 12.3% year-over-year revenue increase for fiscal 2023. Dave & Buster's, which has sold off since its last report despite initially gapping up, is expected to report $615.39 million in revenue for the quarter. Things get started bright and early on Thursday with the PPI prints at 8:30 a.m. The producer price index rose by 0.5% on a monthly basis for April 2024, above the estimated 0.3%, with the yearly increase of 2.2% marking the indicator's largest gain since April 2023. The month-over-month print for core PPI was also above expectations. Let's see if this metric cools at all for the month of May. At 8:30, we'll also get initial jobless claims for the week ending June 8th. A couple auctions to watch out for heading into the midday period. We'll get the 4-week and 8-week bill auctions coming through at 11:30 a.m. and the 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. In between these auctions at 12 p.m., we'll get the 15-year and 30-year mortgage rates. If you're following Tesla, stay tuned at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the EV maker's long-awaited 2024 shareholder meeting. Issues on the table heading into this meeting include the possible reinstatement of CEO Elon Musk's $58 billion pay package, which was invalidated by a Delaware judge earlier this year, and whether or not the company should reincorporate in Texas. Shareholders, proxy firms, and the company itself have all weighed in on these issues heading into the meeting. Let's see how the stock reacts to this big event. Keep an eye out for earnings from tech maven Adobe after the bell. Highlights from its last report include 11% year-over-year revenue growth, an earnings per share beat, and the announcement of an AI assistant for Reader and Acrobat. However, the company's forecast for fiscal Q2 was slightly weaker than expected, and they paid a $1 billion termination fee to Figma after its planned acquisition of the startup fell through. Adobe guided quarterly revenue between $5.25 and $5.3 billion, compared to the current consensus estimate of $5.28 billion. Let's see how their report compares to those expectations. Another round of economic data on Friday to close out this week, starting with import and export prices for May at 8:30 a.m. Export prices actually dropped 1% on an annual basis in April, while import prices grew by 1.1% year over year and 0.9% month over month. Both those metrics could be interesting to watch. Shortly after the opening bell at 10 a.m., we'll get the preliminary Michigan consumer sentiment print. The final consumer sentiment data for May came in at 69.1, marking a 10% drop from the April print and a 6-month low for the indicator, though it did recover from a notably weak preliminary print. Also on watch are the preliminary figures for Michigan consumer expectations, current and 5-year inflation expectations, and current conditions. At 1 p.m., we'll get the Baker Hughes oil rig counts, and we'll end the week with comments from Fed's Goolsbee at 2 p.m. And that's the week ahead. Tune in with us at 8:30 a.m. Monday to Friday at tradertv.live.